welcome back to the channel. Today is Beltane. So we're gonna talk about it. Essentially, it is like a fire festival in the Northern Hemisphere, where obviously the holiday originates. It was celebrated as like the coming of summer. So I will read the I'll leave a link down below as well. But I'm going to read this bit. So it says here, April's showers have given way to rich and fertile earth, and as the land grains, there are a few celebrations as representative of fertility as Beltane, observed on May 1st. Festivities typically begin the evening before, on the last night of April. It's a time to welcome the abundance of the fertile earth and a day that has a long, sometimes scandalous history. There are many different ways you can celebrate Beltane, but the focus is nearly always on fertility. It's the time when the Earth Mother opens up to the fertility god, and their union brings about healthy livestock, strong crops, and a new life all around. And then, obviously, it being a pagan festival, there's a certain way that you can set your altar up, certain gods that you would pray to, obviously most notably agriculture gods, but also especially in the Celtic religion, Belanus, whose name almost is the origin for this festival. He's the Celtic god of the sun. So there's him. There are certain prayers. Beltane's almost always celebrated with the maypole dance, which, if you are unfamiliar with that, essentially it's a big pole with a bunch of streamers attached to the top, and you sort of just dance around in a circle, obviously getting closer and closer in as the ribbon wraps itself around the pole. That's always a good staple when this is being celebrated with a large coven, particularly if there's children. There's also honouring the sacred feminine and the Earth Mother with certain rituals as well. Bonfires, as they said, normally you would start the night before. The Celtics usually measured a day from sunset to sunset rather than, midnight to midnight like we do now. They took the days starting when the sun had set, and then that day would continue until when the sun had set again. So once the sun set on the day before Beltane, that's when they would start up their bonfires, have their bonfire rituals, and then all the other sort of little ones would be during the next day. But the bonfire ritual would be during that night, and then obviously like the maypole dance during the day, or maybe during the bonfire. You can do some of these in conjunction. It was also a particularly special time for sowing seeds and planting crops and stuff. There are planting rites that you can do if you are a solitary practitioner like myself. Another really common thing for Beltane is this is more or less when people would have hand fastings or weddings, with the symbolism being of the new love sprouting between two people in this now committed under the gods sort of relationship. coinciding with the new life of spring. And yeah, that's sort of a very, very vast gloss over. I'm deliberately doing that so that you can actually go and read any of these things for yourself. This list also has how to celebrate with kids. It doesn't have any. Normally these Learn Religions has on its list like food that you would eat, but that's not on this list, which is very interesting. Unless that's in. If you just go onto the link, and then in the little search bar just search Beltane, you'll get things like its history, the legend of the May Queen, all that sort of stuff. But I'm trying to find how to hold a bonfire right. The different prayers, different crafts that you can do, ideas for decorating. I want to know if in this one with kids, if the Beltane food's in this one. What have we got? We only have 5 things on this list. Family abundance ritual. It's got the full script for that there. Different craft projects. Things like the maypole dance that you can do. Now your maypole, if you're going to have a maypole, it doesn't have to be huge. You can literally just go to like the hardware store, get one of like those ray candles or something, attach some ribbons to sort of the flat end, and just have your kids dance around that. If you're wanting to do that for your children, obviously family bonfire night. Make sure you have make sure you're allowed to have a bonfire. Going outdoors, there's still no. I'm going to search it. What are some of our Beltane foods? Because we know that it gave us some for Ostara, because Ostara was like, there we are, recipes for the Beltane Sabbat, that's what we want. What have we got? The Green Man cake. So the Green Man is an archetype, and this is what it actually says here. It's an archetype often represented at Beltane. He's the spirit of the forest, the lusty fertility god of the woodlands. He's a puck. He's known as Jack in the Green, Robin of the Woods. Essentially, he's like a plant man. And from the looks of this, it's just like a spiced cake with, I'm assuming, looking at this, yeah, it's just like a spiced cake. It's not really got any particular flavour to it. I mean, it's got things like nutmeg and vanilla, cloves, cinnamon, etc. in it. Brown sugar, that sort of thing. And then you just sort of decorate it with the Green Man's face. Asparagus and goat cheese quiche is there. Asparagus is a tasty spring veggie, one of the first to pick out the ground each year. Although asparagus crops appear as early as the Ostara Sabbath. In many areas you still find it in fresh when Beltane rolls around. Okay. I'm assuming here any sort of spring vegetable quiche would work if you are not a huge fan of asparagus. Southern style peppery green beans. What are the ingredients here? Because that looks good. Bacon, butter, onion, pound of green beans, some water, salt and pepper. Damn. Cool. Summer salads, obviously. Candied flower petals. Nice to see that on my screen. Beltane fertility bread. Yep. Cool. Essentially, it's a bread in the shape of a male reproductive organ. Yep. Or as this puts it, the phallus bread naturally represents the male. He's the horn god, the lord of the forest, the oak king, or Pan, as he was known in Greece. Some Scottish oatcakes, or bannocks, which is a popular custom. So it said if you eat one on Beltane morning, you'll be guaranteed abundance of your crops and livestock. Traditionally, it's made with animal fat such as bacon grease and is placed in a pile of embers on top of a stone to cook in the fire. Once it's blackened on both sides, it can be removed and eaten with a blend of eggs and milk. This recipe doesn't require you to build a fire, and you can use butter instead of fat. Cool. Right. Obviously, if you're wanting to cook it in bacon grease, cook up the bacon for your green beans first. And away you go. Put some candied flower petals on your cake, have a salad, quiche. Good stuff. Back too far. What else have we got here? Legends and lore of Beltane. History, which we already went through. Cool. This isn't? I don't think this is one of the major sabbats. Greater sabbats. No, it is. It's one of our major sabbats. Which is weird that it doesn't have as much stuff on. Anyway, it doesn't have as much stuff on lone religions, but it's one of the greater sabbats, which is really weird. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and also ring that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Again, the link to some of those learn religion stuffs in the description down below. And until next time, guys, keep your head screwed on.